Alright, it's been 4 months, no intro, let's get right to the action. Tournament 6 is underway. To begin with, we have this guy called Muffin Was Banned. On this new course, as the Moscow theme comes up, he takes on the course, starting off with the log jam, which has been made a little bit more difficult. And then this dude just jumps across all of them, probably at speed, but now Muffin, can he make it onto the footwork, somewhat similar to the curtain slider, and he slides right off. Next up, we have a guy in blue. I'm blue, no, just kidding, no. Alright, it's Gavin ATY346. Can he be able to do well in this course? And he is off. Now, I don't know why his display name is Blue Mailbox. Probably wants to rip off Yellow Mailbox or something. But he just misses the jump onto the curtain slide. I'm a footwork. Gosh, what's going on with me? Alright, anyways, now next we have Hello_Hello, who hosts Hello Ninja Warrior, which has a very shit roller coaster. Giant roller coaster, actually, but no one cares. That obstacle sucks anyway. But Hello, can he get past the footwork? Now he's moving onto the mount, and he's actually got it. And now he's gonna jump or walk his way across. He's gonna walk it. Doesn't want to risk jumping. Okay, that makes sense. The time limit 100 seconds isn't too strict, but Hello, can he get that dismount? Oh, a little bit to the left, and he falls off. Next up, we have it's Vix, who I have no idea. Anyways, he almost tries to false start, but he tried to cheat there, but the timer doesn't budge one bit, and he is on to the log jam. Jumps straight across, very fast, and he misses the freaking footwork. Alright, now we have, Alpha_VR370, or just Alpha. He hosts Alpha Ninja Warrior, which is actually quite a good competition, not gonna lie, but let's see if Alpha is that good of a competitor, which, honestly, a meme came up just these past few months where Alpha fails the first 1.1, but he gets past it today, and he's on to footwork. Can he be the first to break through this? Alpha going very quickly, and he makes the dismount. He's on to the new obstacle, the bridge jump across the 3 pallets, which he's done pretty nicely. Now he's gonna swing across these 2 ropes, and he doesn't get a jump off that first one. Now we have Rocco23467. How will he do? Alright, Rocco is off on stage 1. And he is onto the log jam. Alright, second log. Gotta make the jump to the third log, which is the hardest one. Now Rocco, can he make that jump onto the footwork? Yes, he can. Now Rocco going a little bit slow, and he's bonking his head all over the place, but he's still somehow surviving. He's gotta make that dismount, a little bit close, but he's got it. 75 seconds onto the bridge jump. Here he goes. Alright, can it beat Alpha? All that rope swinging to the left. Alright, he's gonna have to try to fix it, or he jumps straight for it. That's not a good idea, and he's out either way. Alright, now we have It's Me Jaden. Alright, 100 seconds on the clock. Almost said 100 time. I don't know what I was saying there. But Jaden now onto the log jam. Can he get through this? Alright, oh, a little bit close call there on that third one, but he still survives. And he makes the jump onto the footwork. A little bit close call, but he's also going to walk across it, not going to jump. Alright, now he's going to make that dismount, slides down it. That's the preferred technique. But now he's onto the the bridge jump. He saw both the last 2 competitors fail it. Can he get past it? This transfer to the second rope is a lot more difficult. He jumps right for it, a close call. But he's through. He's the first to take on the jumping spider, which has been brought back from 2-1, made much harder, and he undershoots the mount. A little bit unfortunate there. But next up we have someone probably a little bit more well known as a builder, Lyrical Wonders. He has built some, American Ninja Warrior 13 and 14 Vegas, which they're actually not that bad. You should go check them out. But Lyrical now jumping across the log jam. Now onto the footwork, going very low. That's very risky. But Lyrical just flies through the footwork faster than anyone today. Now onto the bridge jump, and he falls off the 3rd pallet. And now we have Krabby Scabby 890. Oh yeah, by the way, we're hitting 250 runs to tournament in tournament 6. So yeah, you probably know who's getting the 250 accomplishment, which is obviously our champion from the last tournament, Brian. He'll be running later. But honestly, this tournament is actually really stacked. The final 10 is hella stacked. We'll get to that in a bit. But now Krabby, can he get through the footwork? He's doing the logjam, gotta make that mount onto the footwork. He's got it. Now he's bonking his head just like, who was that earlier? Rocco? Yeah. Oh, he's bonking a lot more than Rocco. Alright, he's still bonking, and he wastes it all. His head's gonna hurt until tomorrow. Alright, now we have someone who actually has some skill, Jamie Derino. He hosts, I think it's Robloxian Sasuke or Robloxian Warrior, I can't remember. I know one of them's hosted by Jamie, the other is by Twiz. But Jamie, now let's see how well she can do. It's onto the footwork. Jumping across. And she's through. Onto the bridge jump. Here we go. First pallet, second pallet, third pallet. Onto the rope. Oh, almost tries to go straight for the second rope, but she's through it. Now the jumping spider. Can she be the first to get past it? And she sticks the mount. Nice. Now the inside, which is arguably a little bit harder. But Jamie now taking her time now. This time limit, as you can see, she only wasted 40 seconds. Still got a minute left on the clock. Changing sides from the left to the right here. Nothing wrong with that. And now she's wasted just a bit less than half her time onto the fifth obstacle, the pallet peril. This is incredibly difficult. And she courses out. She hits that pillar. That's not allowed. But she's out. Anyways, now we are on to first veteran, Nez Ninja 5, formerly known as Chase That Kid 819. He failed the circle hammer in the last tournament. His clear was in tournament 2, and he hasn't done that well since. But let's just hope he can get past it. He can get a good performance today. Onto the log jam. Quickly through it. Surprisingly, the log jam didn't take out that many compared to the last tournament. And Nez gets a perfect landing on that mount on the footwork. Now moving across, jumping, using a combination of jumping, and he's gonna go for the dismount, and he falls right off like so many others. Alright, now we have A. McDonald's Big Mac, who made his debut in the last tournament, if you still remember. He failed the, was it the circle hammer or the jump hang? And it's one of them, but I don't remember which one it is. But now, Big Mac now on taking his time here on the log jam. Can he make that jump to the third one? Yes, he can. Now gotta make that mount. Oh, he grabs it for a second, but he slides off. Which brings us to our next competitor, DIPK Joe, or Dipk Joe. Just call him Joe, and he's off. Now he is a little bit more well known, and he also has some skill. I think he cleared in the qualifiers in Robloxian Warrior, the one Twiz hosted in its second version, second season. But Dipk Joe doing pretty good so far. Onto the bridge jump. Now gonna go right for it. Oh, he almost slides off that second rope, but he saves it. Now onto the jumping spider. He goes for it, and he overshoots the mount. That's a little bit easy to do, actually. You have to time that right. But now we have Totally Normal, a very well-known competitor, actually. So let's see if she or he can break through. Here we go. Totally Normal, onto the first stage, beginning with the log jam. Alright, how well will she do? Or he, I don't care. And makes the log jam, now onto the footwork. Make that mount, make it stick that mount, and nope. She grabs it for a second and slides off. Now we have one of the OGs of Robloxian jumping stuff, Bowling _ Ninja, also known as Bowling Boy Ninja. I think in his early days, has been competing for 10 whole years. Started in like 2013. One of the oldest competitors ever. It's so incredible how he's still be able to do so well. A newcomer, but he's still a newcomer. So let's see. I hope he can get through. Or he's using a combination of jumping and sliding, which pays off for him. Now onto the bridge jump. Grabs the rope. Now they're gonna take a second swing and make that dismount. On onto the jumping spider, and he makes it. Now he's the second person to get into the inside, following, who is that? I think it was Jamie. Now he's moving a little bit slower than Jamie, but it doesn't matter because he's still got tons of time left for the rest of the course. Now onto the pallet peril. We saw Jamie go out here. This is a very difficult obstacle, but Bull is making like a piece of cake. Onto the 5th one. No, he fails the last one. All of that hard work for nothing. Just so close. But he still did very well. But next up is Jan FE2 fan. I'm hoping that FE2 means Flood Escape 2, which is a game that I still play a lot. I mean, if you just casually go to your friend's page and look at me, I'm probably playing FE2 like 40% of the time. But Jan, let's talk about him. He's competed on Alpha Ninja Warrior, which, fun fact, I didn't compete in Season 1, but I was supposed to, but I kind of had to back out because Alpha never gave me a chance to run because fuck American time zones. And anyways, Jan now on to the bridge jump. Close call on the 3rd one, but he goes right for the 2nd one. And now onto the jumping spider. Can he get through this? He goes for it. And he, oh my gosh, that was a quick transition, but he fails the inside. The first to fail that inside part, excluding the mount. Now we have Norwegian. Let's see if he can do well on this course. He has shown promise, has done well in other courses, but hoping to find that true one breakout performance on a course. And he's hoping it to be this one. He's moving across. Now gonna make that mount a bit of a close call, but he's still also using a combination of jumping and sliding. And he's taking his time on this dismount, really sizing it up. Gets a good jump onto the dismount. And now onto the bridge jump. Now gonna make that, oh, doesn't go for it. And he makes it this time. Now onto the jumping spider. We saw Jan fail here just now. Nor overshoots it. And now another veteran makes his return. This is, wait for it. There we go. It's under Foamy. Yeah, just Foamy. He cleared in Tournament 2 and failed like the brick climb on stage 2. And I think in Tournament 3 he failed the ramp launch. Don't remember Tournament 4 or 5, but I guess he's back today, I guess. It's been a while. Foamy now onto the log jam. No one's failed this yet. Hopefully he doesn't be the first. He's lagging his way across the log jam. That's one way to do it, I guess. And he's jumping quickly through that footwork, facing forwards, and he makes the dismount. Now on to the what's it called again? The bridge jump. Alright, never mind, he failed. Alright, next we have Nader 5682. Let's see if he can do well. Can he be the first to make it past the pallet peril? No one's done it today. We've seen 2 competitors get there, which were Jamie Durano and Bowling_Ninja, and Min just freaking uses that :M command. Min is just, yeah, I'll talk about Min during his run, but Nader taking his time. Alright, he says this is hard. Of course it is a renewal course, then just go for it. Just jump! 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 There we go, and he almost made it. And now a very well-known competitor. This is Yamamoto Shingo, Sasuke Yuichi no Kaikin Sho. No, just kidding, it's Supreme Crystal Ninja. He's always dressed up like Yamamoto though from Sasuke. In fun fact, a Sasuke 40 is premiering on the 27th of this month, so yeah, I'm excited to see Yamamoto or Shingo compete on his 40th appearance. I really want to see him do well, actually. But anyways, back to Supreme. He is on now to the bridge jump. I keep forgetting the name, I don't know why. But he's on now to the jumping spider, and that's a weird way to overshoot the mount, but he fails it. Alright, it's about time we get to our first fast forward. Alright, let's go on with it. Rich Squiggs, who made his debut in the last tournament, made it to the crooked wall in the last tournament. This tournament went down on the footwork. That was then followed up by CRGYS155, aka Crushery, who also made it to the crooked wall in the last tournament, got to the pallet peril, but failed to get a jump off that 3rd pallet. Then Dr. Ninja 64, who we haven't seen since Tournament 3, where he went down the Pokeball, did a much better performance this time, but also went down on pallet peril. Following that, we had the Bream, who was lagging her way across the log jam, and then ultimately failed the mount onto the footwork. And then the champion of Battle of the Ninjas, Zanny Bear, made it to the jumping spider, but unfortunately overshot the mount. And we're now at 25 competitors have attempted the course, and not one competitor has made it past the 5th obstacle. Can our next competitor change that? This is Ali92. Alright, let's see how she will fare. And she's off. And on now to the log jam. No one's failed this yet. 25 clears in a row. Can Ali make it 26? Nope. And she's the first fail. And next up we have Captain Boys Hinningham. I think that's how you pronounce it, I guess. But doesn't really matter to me. It's just getting the competitor to compete. But Captain is off onto stage 1. First up is the log jam. Alright, this is where Ali just failed. Can Captain get past it? And yes, he can. Now he's gonna make that mount onto the footwork, taking his time, and he makes it. Pretty good landing. And now he's slowly sliding his way down. Oh, he goes for it, and he jumps a little bit early, and he's out on stage 1. Well, next up is a competitor who's got quite the score to settle with stage 1. Next up is Hand Over Some Robux, who made his debut in Tournament 2 and has competed in every tournament besides Tournament 4. Hand failed the ramp run in Tournament 2 and the Pokeball in Tournament 3. In the last tournament, did a much better performance getting to the crooked wall, but he was still unable to make it to stage 2. With that, Hand is now 0 for 3 on stage 1, and he knows that this is his big opportunity. He trained more than ever in this tournament, and he's hoping that he can capitalize on that and advance to stage 2 for his first time. Will today be the day where Hand clears? He put in a lot of practice for this tournament, so let's see if that practice pays off. I mean, so far it is paying off, but yeah, he's through the first obstacle, now onto the footwork, and now he's jumping across it. Has been the practice, and he is doing this very well so far. Onto the bridge jump. And he's taking his time, nothing wrong with that. And he's onto the rope. Now he's gotta swing across to the landing. And one more rope, I guess. But he's got that landing, now onto the jumping spider. This is where we saw Than go out just a few minutes ago. But Hand sticks it, and now he's into the inside. He's got a minute left on the clock, got plenty of time to clear if he can get past these obstacles. But no one has beaten the pallet peril. Can Hand be the first? Alright, he's dismounted off the jumping spider, now onto pallet peril. What is his technique gonna be? Alright, he's gonna face forwards, and he's doing it so far. The second and fourth pallets aren't even moving, and Hand's the first to get past the pallet peril. He's got 36 seconds as he's onto the warped wall. Come on, Hand. On now to the flying chute. This has been made a little bit easier, but it's still very difficult, but Hand sticks it nonetheless. Now rushing his way across. He's got 2 more obstacles left, starting with the column climb. Last up is Mind the Gap. Come on, Hand. He's got 1 jump left, and Hand's done it! Hand is going to be our first clear of the tournament with 12.4 seconds remaining on the clock. Very well done to Hand, as he'll finally be getting his first trip to stage 2. 4th time was the charm. Indeed. And Hand didn't show too much struggles. He put in the practice, and it paid off. He used a different strategy here on pallet peril, facing forwards instead of facing sideways. But he didn't have too much troubles, and then was able to cross the remaining obstacles within the time limit and become our first clear on stage 1. Now, he'll be first to take on stage 2 in this new Reformation Era. And hoping to join him on stage 2 is another competitor who struggled with stage 1, Augustachi, who's on 0 for 4 on stage 1. He's still yet to break through. His best performance was the flying chute in Tournament 2. And let's see if he can do well today. All going very fast here on the footwork. Now right into the mount, and he fails the footwork. And how disappointing. That's his 5th fail in a row on stage 1. Alright, next up is our first of the competitors that reached stage 2 in the last tournament. This is Super SpongeBob 303, aka Homeboy. Home, he has also put in quite the amount of practice. In fact, he was chronologically the last run to take on stage 1 because I had been waiting absolutely forever. Because, you know, American time zones suck as crap. But Home now bunking his head all over the place on the footwork. And he's going to stick that dismount on now to the bridge jump. First pallet, second pallet, third pallet, onto the ropes. On Home now going to take 2 swings here, nothing wrong with that. And Home now onto the Jumping Spider, taking his time, and he sticks the mount. Oh, takes a few safe jumps there, but he's through. Oh, a little bit of close call on that jump, but Home still through. Now, another close call there, but he still sticks it nonetheless. Now he's working his way across. Now he's got just over 50 seconds left as he takes on Pallet Peril. We saw Hand get through this just now. Home now gonna go sideways, and he pauses on that first one. That's a different technique. Home now onto the second, onto the third, and he's pausing on the third. That too, that's very risky, but Home is making it pay off here. He's onto the fifth one, and he's through. Home on now to the warped wall. He's got 30 seconds left, has enough time to clear, and he's up the wall. Onto the flying chute, goes up the side to get more height, and he sticks that bar. Home, he's got 20 seconds left. Will Home be able to get back to stage 2 for a second time in a row? Home has got 15 seconds left. Oh, a slip. Oh, another slip. Home is playing around here now, but he's not playing around anymore. He's gonna hit that, but no, he's gonna cross the finish line with 6.2 seconds left. Very well done to Home, and he will be advancing to stage 2 for a second tournament in a row. A very good run all throughout. Had a couple of close calls on the Jumping Spider, who was playing around a lot on the Jumping Spider, and then he used a very different technique here on Pallet Peril, pausing on those first and third pallets, and that paid off for him. Pausing on that third one is very risky, but he somehow made it work, as you can see right here. It didn't show too much troubles. Had a close call on the fourth pallet, looked like it was angling up too much, but didn't make it pay off. Got revenge on the flying chute that took him out in tournament 2, and it was smooth sailing from there on out. Didn't have too much troubles, except for this part here on the column climb. Look at this. He slips twice and somehow manages to save it both times, but the course was to no avail, as Home will be advancing back to stage 2 for a second tournament in a row. Very well done, Home. And with that, we're now 30 runs into this tournament and only 2 clears, but we still have some top competitors left, including all of the final 10 competitors. At number 41 is B. Koraki Whisk, aka Alex. Alex made his debut in the last tournament, where he reached all the way to stage 3, making it to the cliffhanger. So we know Alex is one of those new stars that we should be watching out for in this tournament. Another new star we should be watching out for is Tak Maester 11, the host of Comp. He also made his debut in the last tournament and one-upped Alex, making it one obstacle past the cliffhanger, making it to the vertical limit, so Tak is looking to capitalize on that success this tournament. The first all-star taking on stage 1 this tournament will be Min Ninja 712. Min has competed in every single tournament of Craft Sasuke, and he's cleared stage 1 in every tournament but the last tournament, with a chance to set the new stage 1 clear record of 5. Well, he chokes the crooked wall in the end. So for the first time ever in this tournament, Min will be looking to get some revenge on stage 1. Next is Yas123451, who got the best newcomer performance of anyone in the last tournament and had the best newcomer performance since Cyrus in tournament 2. Yas made it all the way to the last obstacle of stage 3 in the last tournament, so we know that if he gets to stage 3 in this tournament, his only enemy is the final obstacle. And at number 45 is DJ Dilly. DJ has also competed in every single tournament, and he struggled early, failing stage 1 3 times in a row, but in tournament 4 he changed it all around when he made it to stage 2. He made it there again in tournament 5, but made it all the way to stage 3 as well, getting to the cliffhanger. So DJ is on a spree of success and is hoping to continue that in this tournament. At number 46 is the first Grand Champion, Dragon Got Hacked. Despite somewhat people saying his past his prime, Dragon is still the only competitor to have ever finished in back-to-back first-place finishes in tournaments 2 and 3. But since tournament 3, Dragon's results have been taking a downfall, and he has yet to make it back to stage 3. In tournament 4, he shockingly went down on stage 1, and in the last tournament, even though he got back to stage 2, he failed it just like in tournament 1 on the Spider Walk. And at number 47 is Robotic Pie. Robotic is now on a big spree of success, having made it to stage 3 in both of the last 2 tournaments. Robotic struggled early on, failing stage 1 twice in a row, but he's rebounded both times in tournaments 4 and 5, getting to stage 3, so we know that is his goal once again in this tournament. At number 48 is Cyrus Zura UK, the All-Star. Cyrus is one of the most consistent competitors to take on this course, and it's one of only 4 competitors to have ever reached the final stage. Cyrus has also never failed before the last obstacle of the 3rd stage in all of his 3 tournaments. But in tournaments 4 and 5, both times he had a chance to become the first competitor to reach the final stage twice, but both times he choked the drum hopper, so we know he's eyeing up some revenge on stage 3 once again. At number 49 is Skillical, who missed out on the last tournament, but Skill is still one of the best competitors to ever take on this course. Skill made his debut in Tournament 1 and has knocked back out since, making it to Stage 3 4 times in a row, a consecutive record that still holds to this day. Skill missed out on the last tournament, but in his most recent appearance in Tournament 4, he reached the final stage, so we know he's still got some juice left. At number 50 is the reigning Grand Champion, Brian the One 12345. Brian had one of the best comeback tournaments out of any competitor in the last tournament, when he failed the Pokeball in Tournament 4, but it rebounded and absolutely obliterated. The course was the sole survivor of Stage 3, and he reached the final stage and became the 2nd ever Grand Champion. And we'll see all these 10 competitors run in just a bit. But before we get to those 10 competitors, we still have 10 competitors left to take on Stage 1. Next up is JP Winners, a newcomer. Let's see if he can do well on Stage 1. So far, not a single newcomer has cleared Stage 1, and if no new newcomer clears Stage 1 in this tournament, it would be the 2nd time in 3 tournaments, and never mind, JP failed. Now we have No Bacon's Need Face, who for some reason is a regular. He should be a newcomer, so I apologize for that mistake on the graphics card. But, anyways, if no newcomers clear Stage 1 in this tournament, it will be the 2nd time in 3 tournaments that no newcomers managed to defeat Stage 1. The first time that happened was in Tournament 4, and No Bacon's, we almost stick them out, but he fails. But now it's another competitor that also has got some revenge to deal with on Stage 1. In the last tournament, he made it to the Flying Shoot. This is Savage Jake Power, formerly known as BTS Newbie. Jake used to be a dominant competitor. He made it to Stage 2 in Tournament 2 when he went down on the Salmon Ladder Kudari, which is a very bad version of it, but Jake has not made it back to Stage 2 since. He failed the Pokeball in Tournament 3, and he didn't compete in Tournament 4, and failed the Flying Shoot in Tournament 5. But Jake put in a lot of practice for this tournament, and let's see if that practice will pay off. Jake now takes it one swing, and he's now onto the jumping spider. This has taken out quite some top competitors like Danny Bear, but Jake sticks it. Now he's, a close call there, he almost slips off, but Jake now is still going. Alright, now jumps, and he's now across, and now onto Pallet Peril with 55 seconds left on the clock. Looks like he's gonna go sideways here. He's gonna full send it, which is very risky, but Jake somehow makes it pay off. He's now onto the warped wall. He is definitely eyeing up that Flying Shoot, but he just gotta get past that warped wall, but he's struggling to get up it, but he's up it now. Onto the Flying Shoot. This is what took him out in the last tournament, and Jake gets that revenge. And now he's got 30 seconds left for 2 obstacles, beginning with the column climb. Jake didn't face either of these obstacles in the last tournament, but Jake now blowing through it, and Jake's gonna be our 3rd clear in 6 runs with 19.6 seconds left on the clock. A fantastic job by Savage Jake Power, and he'll be advancing back to Stage 2. Jake, he did a very good job here. That practice longer than, I want to say longer than anyone else in this tournament, and you can definitely tell that it paid off. Jake full sended Pallet Peril, which no one has managed to do so tonight, going sideways, handed and facing forwards, and Jake was able to get his revenge on the Flying Shoot, and from there on out, it was a smooth ride to the finish line. And Jake will be looking to get revenge on Stage 2 after failing it in Tournament 2, and we'll see him in just a bit, but for now, he can rest with ease and prepare for Stage 2. Alright, next up is another newcomer who's almost just walked off the map. This is Nur351. So let's see if this guy can beat Stage 1. Alright, and he's off, and alright, the timer kind of bugged there, but it doesn't really matter. Anyways, Nur now making his way across, and he's got one more lock to go, and he fails it. Alright, next up is what Skill labeled in his comp to be the biggest idiot ever. This is the guy that timed out on the last obstacle in Tournament 4, Turtwig 5943, formerly known as It's Turtwig 1. Now, Turtwig missed out on the last tournament, but he competed in Tournaments 2 through 4, and in Tournaments 2 and 3, he actually made his stage 3 twice in a row. In Tournament 3, even managing to finish in 3rd place, being one of just 4 competitors to defeat the ever so difficult hang climb. And he made a costly mistake on the spider flip, but Turd is blowing through the course right now, and watching on his run, he'll be hoping that Turd clears. But Turd is a little bit of a speed demon here. You can tell he's obliterated the first 3 obstacles in 25 seconds onto the jumping spider, sticks them out, moving across, and he fails it. And that is why speed kills. Alright, last fast forward of this tournament. Power of the Flames 22 failed the bridge jump. That was followed up by the Nil 4, who failed the mount on the footwork. And then we had Head Up Above, who also, as a bacon, made it to the footwork, but failed the mount. Kinda lagged his way onto it as well. And then Twisters, the host of Robloxian Warrior, made it to the bridge jump, but walked off the first pallet. Then the final newcomer of the tournament, Cheese VIP, made it to the pallet peril, but it caused a big mistake for newcomers Zenmetsu. He had a bad jump off that 3rd one and failed the 4th. Alright, we're at our final 10 competitors, and we're still stuck on 3 clears. And, well, these final 10 competitors have the most potential to clear stage 1 again. And kicking this off is V Koraki Whisk, who made his debut in the last tournament, war number 4, and was the first clear. So let's see if Alex can do it again today. Now, Alex put in a lot of practice for this tournament, and he did say he was going to absolutely obliterate the fastest time. So let's see if that's true. Alex has evolved from within these past few months. The past few months that, the conclusion of Tournament 5 up to Tournament 6 now. Alex has really been doing well in undercoms. I mean, I won't spoil much, but based on the premiere that hasn't been yet on Rising Ninja Warrior 4, Alex already cleared stage 1. And he was very mad that Andrastico beat him for the fastest time by 2/100ths of a second, so he wants to get revenge here. Obviously, Andrastico won't compete, but he wants to get revenge on the course. And Alex just obliterated the first 4 obstacles in just under 40 seconds onto pallet peril using the same strategy as Hand from earlier, going forwards. And that technique's going to pay off. He still has half the time left onto the warped wall. Alex is up it in 1. Quickly onto the flying chute. He sticks the bar, it almost goes too fast, but speed is a factor here. Alex wants the fastest time, and he's going to obliterate Jake's time right now. And Alex is going to get the fastest time, not going to quite get sub 30, but he's still going to clear stage 1 with 28.8 seconds left on the clock. Alex, a very strong run, and we finally have our 4th clear after getting stuck on 3 clears for a while. Alex was not having too much trouble here on this course, didn't have that many close calls, and he just demolished the entire course to set the fastest time yet. And we'll be seeing Alex back on stage 2, where he'll be looking to get some revenge on stage 3 if he gets back there. But Alex is still moving on, and now we're moving on to our next competitor, who also made his debut in the last tournament, but he one-upped Alex. This is TACMeister11, the host of Comp. He made it to stage 3 in the last tournament as well. He got 1 obstacle further than Alex, who went down the cliffhanger. Tac made it to the vertical limit, finishing in 4th place in the last tournament. And Tac is hoping to continue his good performance and get back to stage 2. But this course has been difficult, and Tac is going pretty fast. Tac now onto the footwork, going pretty quickly. Is he challenging Alex for the fastest time? Doesn't quite look like it, but it kind of looks like it at the same time. Tac is flying through the bridge jump, and now onto the jumping spider. Quickly, still got 75 seconds onto the mount. Tac going very quickly. Oh, he almost slips off that, but Tac is still flying through this course. Tac, oh, another great save. Tac is really, and he's yelling, ah, come on, Tac. He's going for the fastest time here. Tac onto the 3rd, but no! Tac, he's out on pallet peril. Speed kills. And Tac, he knew it right away. He didn't even try to save himself on that 3rd pallet. but Tak is out on stage 1. He had a very close call all throughout the jumping spider, having 3 very close slips on that obstacle. But what went wrong there on pallet peril? Let's take a look at this again. He gets a good jump, but he jumps a little bit too early going off that second one, and he knew it. Let's take a look at the replay here. Tak, he made it to the second one, but he jumps a little bit too early, and he knew it. The third one started tilting, and he didn't even try to save it. And Tak is out on stage 1 after such a good performance in the last tournament. Tak will be unable to move on to stage 2. But with that, we have to move on to the first of our all-stars that will be competing in this tournament, and he is looking to get some revenge on stage 1. Next up to take on stage 1 is Min Ninja 712. He's just so racist. Min, he failed the brick climb in tournament 1, and he made it to the final obstacle of stage 3 in tournament 2, and he came up just short of reaching the final stage, and he did the same thing in tournament 3, but being too racist both times, he ended up flopping on the dismount. On tournament 4, he decided to pull off a jailed man from ANW4 and failed the dismount on the unstable bridge. But in the last tournament, his racism got the better of him as he failed stage 1 for his very first time. And let's see if Min can get his revenge on stage 1. Tak coming back here, he just failed stage 1, but he's still gonna root for Min. I don't know why. Min is still very racist, as we know. Yeah, fun fact, we conducted a survey on who was the most racist person on the R&W community, and Min won first place by a landslide. Second place was, I think, Home, which isn't even close to how racist Min is, but Min now onto the bridge jump, wearing that football uniform. I mean, Min is so annoying how he's saying like, "Is football not soccer, you Doug?" Yeah, that is exactly what Min always says. He always uses "and" instead of "a," and Min is just flying through. And let's just use Min language. Min onto and pallet peril, dog obstacle. Min on out to and second pallet, and he misses. He course outs on the second one, and Min is out on stage 1 for the second tournament in a row. Min, he was looking good. Surprising how he didn't fail those first 4 obstacles due to him being so racist. But look at this. He was moving around too much on that second pallet, and it cost him. Min, as we take a look at it here, he tries to stay on that second pallet, but he didn't get it, and Min is out on stage 1 once again on the 5th obstacle. And his racism will continue for probably another while. But Min will not be able to become the first all-star to clear stage 1 in this tournament. In fact, for the second tournament in a row, he'll be the first all-star eliminated. And he'll be eliminated on just stage 1 yet again. Well, from one racist competitor to a top competitor, next up is the newcomer of the tournament from the last tournament. This is Yas123451, who was infamous for his flying shoot skip in the last tournament. But Yas made it all the way to the last obstacle of stage 1 in the last tournament. Stage 3, I mean. But yeah, Yas finished in 3rd place in just his first appearance and produced the second best newcomer performance. Besides, oh my gosh, Yas just tried to cheat there, but he goes back. That's gonna cost him like a second or two, but Yas bonking his head on the footwork, and he makes the dismount. Yas now on to the pallet peril. I mean the bridge jump. Why do I keep saying? Apologies if I've been saying the. Oh my goodness! But I apologize if I'm saying the bridge jump as pallet peril. But Yas almost slips off the jumping spider as well. Yas now moving across the jumping spider now. Robotic watching this run. He'll be running a little bit later. He's watching his good friend Yas, and he'll be staying for DJ, and who's gonna be running next. And Yas is now onto the pallet peril. We just saw Tak and Min fail this, and Yas fails it as well. What is going on? The pallet peril claims its 3rd straight top competitor in a row. I want to go back to the bridge jump. Look at how great this save was. He almost slipped off, and he was doing so good. But what happened here on pallet peril? He just like Tak and Min with the second pallet that doomed him. Let's take a look at this. He gets a good start, but he hits the second pallet too early, and that pallet tilts way too much, and he couldn't clear the distance to that third pallet, and Yas is out on stage 1 just like the last 2 competitors. Well, 6 competitors left, and our next competitor is another competitor that's found success after struggles in the past. The next competitor to take on stage 1 this tournament is DJ Dilly, who has competed in every single tournament. In the first tournament, DJ produced the first timeout when he ran out of time on the warped wall. And he would do the exact same thing in tournament 2, even though it's the exact same version. He failed it yet again, becoming the first competitor to fail stage 1, or fail the same obstacle twice in a row. In tournament 3, he broke his warped wall streak, but in a bad way, as he failed the Pokeball over in the number 69. And in tournament 4, he trained harder than ever. And his success, his training, led to his success, as it all paid off, as in a very close photo finish on stage 1. He became the first clear of the tournament when he cleared stage 1 of just 2/100ths of a second left. And he would clear stage 1 in the last tournament as well, making that his second stage 1 clear in a row after 2 warped wall fails in his first 2 tournaments. DJ has been on a winning streak recently, so let's see if he can continue that. But we already saw some top competitors go down on stage 1 this tournament, and you know DJ does not want to be a part of that losing streak. DJ now on to the logjam. DJ didn't put in a lot of practice in this tournament though, so we know, oh, he's grabbing the footwork in a weird way, but he's back up. Anyways, he didn't put in a lot of practice here, so let's see if his improvisation will pay off. DJ now going for the dismount. DJ is out on the footwork. What just happened? DJ, he got a bad mount, but he was able to save himself. But then just seconds later, he was just sliding, just walking his way across. Nothing wrong with that. Then he started jumping. And then that got out of his control. He then started to stop again. And then he hesitated on this landing. And he falls off the curtain. And DJ suffers his 4th stage 1 failure and his 2nd in 4 tournaments. Bad luck to DJ Dilly. And with that, we're still stuck at 4 clears, and we just saw 4 straight fails from top competitors. And our next competitor is hoping to make it back to stage 3 after a very long losing streak after the past few tournaments. The next competitor to take on stage 1 is Dragon Got Hacked. Dragon has the distinction of being the first competitor to ever defeat stage 1. And on stage 2, he would fail midway when he derailed the bar on the slider drop and finished it in 3rd place in that tournament. But in tournament 2, he enacted his revenge against the course in the ultimate fashion, setting the fastest time ever on stage 2, which would hold until only the next tournament. But Dragon would absolutely obliterate the 3rd stage, being one of only 2 competitors to survive that, besides Cyrus Zero UK. But on the final stage, he did what Cyrus could not do and scaled the tower with 1.1 seconds left on the clock to become the first grand champion of this course. And he nearly got back-to-back Kanzens, but he tragically failed the last jump of stage 3 in tournament 3. Ever since then, however, he has had a downfall. In tournament 4, he shockingly went down on the crooked wall, suffering from his first ever stage 1 fail, and although he made it back to stage 2 in the last tournament, he would go down on the spider walk. And Dragon is hoping to capitalize on that small success and make it back to stage 3 for the first time since tournament 3. Dragon is, most people would say that he is now past his prime, but that number 250 right there, that would have been him had Brian not Kanzen. I'm actually serious. Dragon, if no one Kanzen in the last tournament, Dragon would have received number 250, which would be similar to how he received number 100 in tournament 3. But Dragon, now he also put in quite a lot of practice, and it's so far is paying off. He beats DJ, so now he's on to the bridge jump. Or now he's onto the rope. Dragon, he makes that jump, and now onto the jumping spider. Dragon makes that mount. By the way, Dragon is the only competitor to complete the flying shoot. Oh, he almost comes short. He's the only competitor to complete the flying shoot in every tournament it's been in. So you can tell his goal is to beat the flying shoot again in this tournament. Dragon onto pallet peril. We've seen so many fails here. Come on, Dragon. He pauses on that first one. He's gonna go for the second and the third. Come on, Dragon. Yes, Dragon is through pallet peril with 48 seconds left. He's not out of danger yet. On out to the warped wall. He hasn't struggled with this obstacle that much, and he's up it now onto the flying chute. He goes up the side. He jumps. No! Dragon, he's out on the flying chute, an obstacle he's never shown any kind of struggle with. But he fails it now. What the heck? Dragon, he was doing so good too, looking just like his old form from Tournaments 2 and 3. But it all came crashing down on the flying chute, an obstacle he's never shown any struggles with. Dragon, he managed to defeat Palapero, which took out Tak, Min, and Yas just minutes ago. And he was able to get up the warped wall without any troubles. But then what the heck happened on the flying chute? He goes up onto the side, nothing wrong with that, but he jumps a little bit too late and just slips off the bar just like that. The flying chute is still a killer, and you cannot take it for granted. And it knocks out our first Grand Champion, and Dragon suffers from his second Stage 1 failure in 3 tournaments. Bad luck to Dragon. With that, we have had 5 straight fails from very strong competitors. Our next competitor is a competitor who's seen success late in recent tournaments, and he's hoping to capitalize on those successes. Next up to take on Stage 1 is Robotic Pie, who made his debut in Tournament 2. In that tournament, he became the first competitor to defeat the very difficult flying chute, the version on Stage 1, and he almost became the first clear of that tournament, but he failed the car launch in a quite weird way too, falling off the side. And he failed the Pokeball in Tournament 3, but in Tournament 4, he practiced harder than ever, and he reached Stage 3 in that tournament. And in the last tournament, Tournament 5, he would do the exact same thing, making it to Stage 3 yet again. And in both of the last 2 tournaments, he has shown that he can adapt to a new course, just like in Johto. Robotic has seen success recently and is hoping to capitalize on those successes. But we've already seen very top competitors go out here on Stage 1, so you know Robotic does not want to go out here today. He still has 2 All-Stars and the second Grand Champion left, so Robotic wants to set a good pace for those final 3 competitors. Robotic now to the footwork. Robotic jumping his way across, and he is across. Now he's on to the bridge jump. Here we go. First pallet, second pallet, third pallet, on now to the rope. A little bit of a close call there, but Robotic through. And now onto the jumping spider. Takes his time, gets the mount, 70 seconds left as he moves across the inside. Robotic now onto the rest of the obstacle, the back half. Don't pull a Nagano from Sasuke 24, and he is stuck in mid-air. He's really laggy. And now onto Palapero. Come on, Robotic. He's gonna full send it looks like. And Robotic taking his time through it, and he works. Robotic now, he's not out of danger yet, as we just saw Dragon go out on Stage 1 on the flying chute. And he's on the flying chute right now. Come on, Robotic. He sticks it. Robotic is on his way to a 3rd straight Stage 1 clear, but he's not out of it just yet. He still has to get past the column climb and mind the gap. Robotic makes that jump, and that jump as well, and Robotic's not going to beat Alex for the fastest time, but it's still a speedy clear nonetheless. 24.2 seconds left. That is how you do it. Robotic breaks that failure streak from our last 5 competitors, and he'll be moving on to Stage 2 for a 3rd straight time. Robotic didn't have too many troubles on this stage, and then he managed to defeat Palapero, which has taken out so many top competitors so far. But Robotic was able to get past it without any troubles, and he was able to defeat the last 2 obstacles that he defeated in the last tournament. Both obstacles have been made harder, but it didn't seem to harm Robotic. And as he crossed the finish line, he knew that he was able to celebrate himself, as now he'll be moving on to Stage 2 for a 3rd straight time. And with Robotic clear, our competitors, the momentum is starting to shift back to them. With just 3 competitors left, these are the top 3 competitors we've ever seen, and our next competitor is hoping to capitalize on 3 very strong performances. Next up is Cyrus Zero UK, the All-Star. Cyrus made his debut in Tournament 2, where he was one of 6 competitors to reach Stage 3 in that tournament, but oh no, he did not stop there. Cyrus further established himself as one of the top competitors when he was the first competitor to ever defeat Stage 3. However, the Tower won their duel at the end as he timed up just half a second short of total victory. As a result, he missed out on becoming the first Grand Champion. He's made it to Stage 3 3 times in a row, even though missing out on Tournament 3. And in both of the last 2 tournaments, he failed the Drum Hopper, the very last obstacle of Stage 3, finishing in second place for a 3rd straight time. And Cyrus is now tired of finishing in second place. He wants to finish in first place, but he's going to have to defeat Stage 1 this tournament. Cyrus, he didn't show too much trouble in practice, however, he did say he was very worried about the stage. Cyrus now on to the logjam. Moving across the footwork now. Cyrus bonking his head just like Yas from earlier. This took up DJ, so we can tell he's stopping himself, pausing to catch his breath. Now on to the bridge jump. First pallet, second pallet, third pallet, and Cyrus is on to the... Oh, he's going backwards. There's no auto jump. Come on, Cyrus. You can do better than that. Alright, Cyrus. 69 seconds left as he's onto the jumping spider. Oh, he almost slips off. Almost slips off. But Cyrus now making his way across the rest of the obstacle. Come on, Cyrus. He's now on to the rest of the obstacle. Alright, now he's just got the dismount. And he's got it. He's got half the time left as he takes on Pallet Peril. What's his technique going to be? Alright, he's going to pause on that first one. And he's going to pause on the second one too. That's very risky. We saw Min fail this. Cyrus doesn't seem to backfire so far. He's on the third. Alright, he's pausing. Alright, on to the fourth. It's... Oh no, shifting! No! Cyrus! He's out on Stage 1. Cyrus, after 3 straight second place finishes when he got to Stage 3, Cyrus is out on Stage 1, and that is his personal worst performance. Cyrus, what the heck happened on Pallet Peril? Cyrus, he was doing so good as well. You can tell he was getting nervous. As you saw here, he almost slipped off the jumping spider, but it didn't harm him all that much. And he made his way through the rest of the obstacle. And then he pauses on every single pallet on Pallet Peril. We saw Min do this and it backfired on just the second one. But Cyrus continued, getting to the third one. But what happened on that fourth one? I am speechless. Cyrus, let's take a look at this. He just goes too far forward. And the board just tilts, slowly dooming Cyrus, slowly biting him into the water. And Cyrus knew it right away. I mean, he could have tried to save himself. I guess he could have saved himself if he tried to go straight for the fifth one. But I don't think he would have got the distance anyway. But Cyrus is out on Stage 1 for just his first time. And this is tragic for Cyrus. And with that, we're down to just 2 competitors left. And our next competitor is making a comeback from retirement. The next to last competitor to take on Stage 1 this tournament is Skillical, the all-star formerly known as Skillful Jack 239. Is one of the course's brightest stars. Skill was the very first clear of Stage 2 and made it to Stage 3 in the very first tournament, finishing in second place in that tournament on what would be a spree of 4 straight Stage 3 clears, a consecutive record that still holds to this day. Skill failed the Planet Bridge in Tournament 1, and in Tournament 2, he made it past the Ultimate Cliffhanger, and would make it to the back half of Stage 3 for his first time. Unfortunately, he would fail on just the very next jump on the curtain cling. In Tournament 3, he would go on the hang climb like 3 others in that tournament. But in Tournament 4, the stars finally aligned for Skill, as he was finally able to put on a masterpiece performance to advance to the final stage for his first time. Unfortunately though, a few slip-ups on the final stage ultimately doomed him to timing out, as he came up short, pulling off a Yusuke Morimoto from Sasuke 36, running out of time at the top. Skill has always had pressure, but in this tournament, he has more pressure than ever before. The All-Stars were known as competitors that had the best chances of clearing Stage 1, but in this tournament, none of them have been able to even put a dent to Stage 1. Min going out on the Pallet Peril, that was followed up by the first Grand Champion, Dragon Got Hacked, who made it to the Flying Chute, an obstacle he completed in every single tournament it's been in. But his streak ended there as he shockingly went down on that obstacle in this tournament. And then just seconds ago, we saw Cyrus Zero UK, who has finished in second place 3 straight times, 3 straight Stage 3 clears, and 3 straight appearances, and he shockingly ended his run on Stage 1. And with that, Skill is the last All-Star remaining. This has never been seen before. All-Stars, Zenmetsu on Stage 1. We've already seen newcomer Zenmetsu for the second time in 3 tournaments. We do not want to see All-Star Zenmetsu in this tournament as well. Come on, Skill, you can do it. Skill, he's never failed before stage 3. 4 straight stage 3 appearances, still a record to this day. Skill flying his way across the first 2 obstacles. Now onto the bridge jump. Skill onto the jumping spider now. Skill is gonna go for it. And no! Skill, he overshoots the mount! Skill, what? Are you kidding me? Skill, is this reality? I don't believe it. Skill, he's out on stage 1 for his very first time, just like so many top competitors in this tournament. Skill has gone down on just the first stage, and just like Cyrus, this is his personal worst performance. Skill, he was doing so good as well. Skill, he didn't seem to have too many troubles on the first few obstacles. Getting past the log jam, which he had never attempted as he didn't compete in the last tournament. Getting past the footwork, which took out DJ Dilly. Then getting past the bridge jump. But his run all falls apart on the jumping spider, an obstacle he beat easily in tournament 1. Let's take a look at this. He overshoots the mount in a similar fashion to Thanny Bear earlier this tournament. Skill, he jumps too late and he just crashes down on the first stage. Are you kidding me? Skill, he jumps too late. He just taps right over that bar. He didn't get enough friction to stay on that. And with that, it is All-Stars Zenmetsu on stage 1. For the first time since their introduction, not one All-Star is moving on to stage 1. And it just comes to show how difficult this new course is. And no All-Stars will be moving on to stage 2 for their first time. After those shocking failures, we have had 7 fails in the last 8 runs. With 1 competitor left, he has the most pressure, but he also has the best skill as he achieved total victory in the last tournament and is hoping to capitalize on that success in this tournament. The final competitor to take on stage 1 this tournament is once again Brian the One at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brian shockingly failed the Pokeball on his debut in tournament 4, but in tournament 5 he changed it all around. He got his number up after skill was absent in the last tournament and he wore number 50 and demolished the fastest time on stage 1, setting a new speed record. And then he did not stop there as he was the sole survivor of a bloodbath third stage, narrowly beating the last jump like Akiyama in tournament 4 of Sasuke, but he did what skill could not do and was able to defeat the final stage with enough time left on the clock to be able to crown himself as the 2nd Grand Champion of Crafts, Sasuke. While Brian has not been promoted to All-Star in this tournament, we know that he is able to adapt to this new course, and he now has pride more than anyone. And Brian, being a strong J2 competitor, is hoping to make good use of his skills to clear stage 1 and use his magic once again on the course. But Brian has a very difficult stage 1 in front of him. He has already seen 7 of the last 8 top competitors go down on stage 1, and you can tell Brian does not want to join that field, and Brian, that number 250 on the screen belongs to him rightfully. As he achieved total victory in the last tournament, he has the biggest chance to clear stage 1. But we've seen competitors struggle here, so we know that Brian cannot let his guard down until he gets to the finish line. 100 seconds on the clock and Brian is off onto the logjam. Brian makes that 3rd log onto the footwork. This took out DJ just a few minutes ago. Brian flying through it, now onto the bridge jump. This hasn't shown too much struggles, but we have seen top competitors, or just a few competitors, go down here already. But Brian is not going to join it, but now the jumping spider. We just saw skill fail here. Brian sticks that mount, and now he's working through the inside. The inside has also dealt quite some damage, like Supreme and Turtwig, but Brian now onto Palipero. We've seen 4 competitors fail here in the last 10 runs. We've seen Tak, we've seen Min, we've seen Yas, and we've seen Cyrus. Brian pauses on the 1st and 3rd ones, similar to, I think, Home, but Brian now through the obstacle. He's not out of trouble yet, and Brian is hoping to become our 6th clear. He still has 4 obstacles left, up the wall in 1. Now the flying ship. We saw Dragon go out here, but Brian almost falls off the bar. and he's got 30 seconds left for 2 obstacles, and it looks like Brian the 1 2 3 4 5 after his total victory is going to get back to stage 2 of this tournament. And Brian beats the last jump of the clock, doesn't quite get over 20 seconds left, but he's still got 18.9 seconds left on the clock. He is going back to stage 2 and will join the other 5 to tackle it on that stage. Brian, as the last one of the tournament, he didn't seem to get the pressure, didn't seem to get the better of him. Brian was pretty relaxed, pretty comfortable all throughout his run, didn't have too much trouble, didn't have that many close calls either. And Brian was able to defeat the course without any issues. He beats Palapero, which took out 4 top competitors this tournament, but Brian was not one of them, and Brian did not show any struggles, and he was on a smooth way back to stage 2. Brian had the only close call was on the flying shoe when he landed on the bar and he almost walked off. But then he beats the column climb and mind the gap, which he cleared with ease in the last tournament, and did it again today to move on to stage 2 once again. Very well done, Brian. You're moving on to stage 2. Well, stage 1 is wrapped up now, and this was the true meaning of the word merciless. We saw 50 competitors take on the course. One by one they tried, and one by one they failed. We saw top competitors go down one by one as well. For the first time ever, no all-stars will be moving on to stage 2. And for the second time in 3 tournaments, we will see no newcomers on the second stage either. We still have 6 competitors, 6 warriors left standing. But we've also seen very top competitors shockingly go down on stage 1, including all of the all-stars, which was the biggest shock of the tournament, most mainly Cyrus and Skill going down on stage 1 after very strong performances in past tournaments. But nonetheless, we still have 6 competitors left standing. The first competitor to clear was Hand Over Some Robux, then Super SpongeBob 303, Savage Jake Power, and then Karaki Whisk, who put up the fastest time on stage 1 in this tournament. Then it was Robotic Pie, and which wrapped it up with Brian the 1 2 3 4 5, our grand champion. For 46 competitors, the journey, the quest to total victory is far from over. Coming up on Craft Sasuke, these final 6 competitors will take on stage 2. Just like stage 1, this course has received a couple of redesigns from the last tournament, but for much more stricter time limit and much more difficult obstacles. How many of these 6 competitors will be able to move on to stage 3? We'll see this in just a bit, but stage 2, while has not been a bloodbath in past tournaments, will finally show its true grit in this tournament. Our 6 competitors will have to not lose concentration for a single fraction of a second if they want to have a chance to defeat stage 2. That's coming up next, but for now, we'll go to a short commercial break, and we'll come back and we'll see these 6 competitors tackle on stage 2 on the 6th tournament of Crafts Sasuke. Alright, let's kick off stage 2. This stage has had a couple of modifications from the last tournament. There are some obstacles brought back from older tournaments, as well as some new obstacles hoping to take down our competitors. And first up is Hand over some Robux, who is not trying to get past the gate for whatever reason. There we go, now he's past the gate. Hand will have 85 seconds to get past 6 obstacles. Starting with the slider drop brought back from Tournament 1. This took out the Grand Champion Dragon, but Hand is through it now into the first new obstacle, alternation. You have to jump across these 10 pegs, and you almost come from the 6th one, but he's through. Now into the next new obstacle, Cannonball Alley. You jump across these 3 little spheres, and onto the balance tank. This is a little bit easier from Tournaments 3 and 4. But it's through. Now the backstream. This is the crucial point right here. Now, this obstacle really kills time, but Hand, so far, doing a pretty good job. And Hand is now struggling to get past. He's halfway there. He's got one more wall to go. Alright, Hand, he's through. Okay, Hand just completely cheesed the backstream, but now into the conveyor belt. He's got just over 20 seconds left. Conveyor belt always wastes time, but now onto the obstacle brought back from Tournament 2, the vehicle ramps. This is made much more difficult. Come on, Hand. He's got 10 seconds left. He's gonna go for the second. Oh my goodness, he's done a full 360. Hand's gonna jump out of the car at the end, and he's gonna clear with 2.6 seconds left on the clock. That was a close one, Hand, but he survives, and will be moving on to Stage 3 for his first time, after taking on Stage 2 for just his first time. The slider trap didn't show any troubles. It's not easy, but he somehow made it work. And then had a close call on Cannonball Alley on that second ball. Didn't have too much troubles, just destroyed the balance tank like it's not even there. And then he decided to do so well that he decided to play around with the backstream. He struggled with the 4th wall, but he was able to break that 4th wall. No reference to any memes or whatever. And then he decided to just cheese the landing on, coming off the chute. He totally just pulls a jailed man from Sasuke 36. And then we go to this vehicle ramps. Take a look at this 3rd ramp. Look at this. He does a full 360 for no reason. Puppets get some flex points, but Hand is moving on to Stage 3. And hoping to join Hand on Stage 3 is our next competitor taking on Stage 2, and he is one of the competitors that failed the stage in the last tournament. It is Super SpongeBob 303, and there at the starting line, as you can see, is Jamie Derino and V Kuraki Whisk. He'll be running a bit later. Home failed the spider walk in the last tournament, but it's not here anymore. It's been replaced by the balance tank returning, but Home on now to the slider drop. This is not an easy obstacle. You have to take your time. If it derails, you're gonna probably miss the landing. But Home on now to alternation. Home now taking his time, and he makes that 6th one. A little bit of a slightly up of a close call, but now he's gonna make the dismount, and that's a very close call on the resting bar going into Cannonball Alley. But he's got a minute left as he's through the obstacle. Now into the balance tank. If he beats this, it's a new personal best. The 4th obstacle of Stage 2, and Home gets it, and it's a new personal best. Now onto the backstream. However, he doesn't have as much time as Hand. He's only got 45 seconds, and the backstream normally eats up around 20 seconds at minimum. So Home is really gonna have to push it here. He's really gonna have to push it here if he wants to beat Stage 2. He's struggling on the 4th wall just like Hand, but he's through it a little bit quicker, but he's still got time, but he still has to get through 2 obstacles. Come on, Home. Right now, and he doesn't pull a jailed man on the backstream, but he's got 17 seconds left. This is gonna be close. This is gonna come down to the wire here on this final obstacle. Home, he exits the conveyor belt as the klaxon sounds. Come on, Home. 7 seconds for the vehicle ramps. Come on, he backs up. He's gonna first, second, he's gonna full send it. And Home is moving on to Stage 3. With 1.4 seconds left, he gets his revenge on Stage 2. He's gonna celebrate by just driving the car off the map, which I'm just gonna cut. But Home A very strong performance here on stage 2. He got his revenge on this stage. He had a very close call here, although on going off the rest bar onto Cannonball Alley, he almost slips off that. That could have been a disaster, feeling between the obstacles. But Home struggled a little bit on the backstream, but was able to execute it fast enough. And he was just able to defeat stage 2 with enough time to spare and move on to stage 3 for his first time. And our next competitor is hoping to continue this win streak for our competitors. Here's another competitor that has yet to break through stage 2, and he last made it here in Tournament 2 a very long time ago. This is Savage Jake Power. Jake failed the same in ladder Kudari in Tournament 2, the second obstacle, and Jake now on to the slider drop, taking his time, and he sticks the landing. Now onto the alternation. Now Jake quickly flying through it, and he almost comes up short. Might have been a little bit of a lag spike there, but it is to no avail. And Jake full sends the cannonball. Nope, not quite. Jumps to second, has a close call. But now onto the balance tank. Come on, Jake. He's now pushing the tank all along, and he's through it. He's got a little bit more time left than Home, and he's onto the backstream, straight into it, hoping to save as much time as possible. Come on, Jake. Make it to stage 3. Jake now, he's got 40 seconds left for 2 walls. Come on, oh, Jake struggling a little bit here. Jake now losing out on some time. He's actually losing out on a lot of time. He's been stuck on this part for 10 seconds. But Jake's finally through, but he's got even less time than Home. Jake, he's gotta go. Jake, he's nearing the exit. 20 seconds left as he just gets on top. He's still got 2 obstacles left. This is gonna be even closer. Come on, Jake. I don't think he's got enough time, but he does have a chance. But he's gonna need a perfect run on the vehicle ramps. Jake, come on. 6 seconds. I don't think he's gonna do it. Jake, he's gonna go for it anyway. But he times up on stage 2 and he fails it anyway. Jake is out on stage 2 once again, and with that, he is just the 3rd competitor to fail stage 2 twice, following Addison Judah and Min, the Mr. Racist. Jake, he had a strong performance all the way up until the backstream. They had a close call on Cannonball Alley, almost fell off that second cannonball, and he was doing pretty well as well. He didn't have any troubles on the balance tank either, but he really lost time on the backstream. He really struggled on that, trying to get past that 4th wall, and that wasted 15 seconds just trying to get to that 5th wall. And then he got pushed back by that 5th wall twice, and he knew it was over. He tried to make it close. He really had to sell out, and it was to no avail. He full sent into vehicle ramps, but he got caught up on that second ramp, and he falls into the water once again on stage 2. And with that, Jake's quest to reach stage 3 will have to wait another tournament. And after that devastating fail, we have to move on to another competitor, and the first of the competitors that reached stage 3 in past tournaments. This is V Kuraki Whisk, who put up the fastest time on stage 1, and he's gonna try to do it again on stage 2, I guess. Full sends the slider drop. That's how you do it. And now Alex moving on, and now it's alternate on the 6th one, and he almost comes up short, but he saves it anyway. Alex now jumping his way across. Look at how much time he's really selling out. Robotic also watching this run as well. He'll be running right after. And Alex, look at that. He just beat the first 4 obstacles in less than 35 seconds. Wow. Anyways, Alex, onto the backstream. This is what really cost Jake. And he's reached this point. He just jumped right past the 4th wall in like 10 seconds. And he just let it beat the backstream in around 15 seconds. Alright, Alex exits the backstream. Now onto the conveyor belt. He still has 38 seconds left. Alex trying to put up the fastest time again. No one has come even close to beating the clocks, and Alex has got so much time left. He even has the time to pause right now. Look at that. Alex, he just stops, and there's Han as well watching. He'll be hoping Alex gets past this last obstacle, which Jake failed, the vehicle ramps. Alex full sends it and rides straight off the platform with 16.9 seconds left on the clock. Alex just demolishes stage 2 once again, just like stage 2 from the last time. He had a very close call on alternation on that first transition, that second set. But look at how fast he got past the backstream. Look at that. He just literally jumped right past that fourth wall like it's nothing, while Jake struggled on it for almost 15 seconds. Alex had no troubles whatsoever, even having the time to pause before the vehicle ramps. And he demolishes stage 2 once again and is moving on to stage 3 for a second time in a row. And hoping to get to stage 3 for a third time in a row, we have Robotic Pie. Robotic cleared stage 2 in both of the last 2 tournaments, so we know he can definitely do it again. But he's gonna have to not lose his focus. Come on, Robotic. Robotic onto the first obstacle, the slider drop, derailed at the end, but that's okay. He still made the platform nonetheless. He exited that obstacle before it derailed, but Robotic flying through it, challenging Alex for the fastest time. Robotic now already onto the balance tank. He is really on hot pursuit to chase Alex. And he's through the balance tank a little bit quicker and right into the backstream. Come on, Robotic. Is he gonna beat Alex this time? Alright, now he's got the crucial point is that fourth wall. And he's struggling a little bit. And he's actually really struggling here. He's wasted 10 seconds just like Jake, but he's through it nonetheless. He still has time. Robotic now, he's got 35 seconds left. And he's really struggling here on this last section of the backstream. Took 30 seconds to beat it, but he still has time, but he's getting stuck. Robotic losing out on time here. Robotic, he's playing around. No more time for jokes, Robotic. He's got 18 seconds left. Go, Robotic, go! He literally wasted 40 seconds on the backstream. He's out of the backstream now onto the vehicle ramps. The klaxon sounds. Come on, Robotic. He's through the first one, second one. Robotic full sends, and he's through with 2.9 seconds left. That was a close call there. But it was to no avail, and Robotic will be moving on to stage 3 for a third straight time. Now tying the second most, with Cyrus with 3 in a row just behind Skill with 4. But Robotic, he blew through those first 4 obstacles very quickly, but he was really struggling on the backstream, taking 40 seconds to beat it, even playing around here, not even going down the chute, probably just a bit of a bug, but he got it fast enough. He had time to waste, and he, with the time ticking down, chose to full send the vehicle ramps. Well, half full send, but he still managed to get to the finish line within the time limit to move on to stage 3 for a third straight time. And with that, we have come down to our final competitor. Brian the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is now going to take on stage 2. How will the grand champion do? Brian, he's off onto the slider drop. Gonna take it a little bit slower than full sending, but he still did it quite quickly. Now into alternation. Brian, a very experienced J2 competitor. I think he's beaten a few catastrophic levels, and me with only one remorseless, that being a Tower of Eternal Suffering. But Brian now onto the balance tank. Oh, he's jumping. That's a new strategy. But Brian sticks it, and now he's moving on to the backstream. This has been proving to be a very serious time waster, and he tried to jump straight in there, but he just went back to the platform. But Brian now moving across, and he is on the fourth one, and he's struggling just like the others. But Brian threw that nonetheless. And now he is on to the fifth one, and he's got it. Really? Brian, 2 jailed man moments in 1 tournament? Well, anyways, Brian just doesn't care about that at all. And he's onto the vehicle ramps now, I guess, with 15 seconds left on the clock. Brian takes his time. He's got time, and he's got 1 more ramp to go. Brian, and he sticks it, and to drive his way across with 6.8 seconds left on the clock. And with that, Brian is going back to stage 3, and we have 5 competitors moving on to the 3rd stage. Brian had a very successful run all throughout stage 2, I mean. He hasn't even run stage 3 yet, but Brian didn't have too much troubles. The only problem he had was pulling another jailed man moment coming off the backstream, but he had time to waste. Took his time on the vehicle ramps, and with that, Brian has secured another ticket to stage 3, and he'll be hoping to be the first to beat it twice. Alright, so there are the 5 players of Alice getting the fastest time again, and we'll see these 5 competitors take on the 3rd stage later. And just coming up on Craft Sasuke, these final 5 survivors will do battle with the 3rd stage. It is an incredibly redesigned course to test our competitors to their absolute limits and breaking points. How many of them will be able to make a dent to the 3rd stage, or will one of them miraculously be able to make it to the finish and somehow move on to the final stage for the 2nd time? What Brian is for the 2nd time, and when will someone besides Brian become the 3rd grand champion? And Brian, will he become the first to achieve total victory twice? That is coming up. And for now, we'll go into another short commercial break, and we'll come back for the ender of Craft Sasuke Tournament 6. Here we go, the 3rd stage. This stage has had 6 new obstacles. And Hand, over some Robux, will be kicking off this 3rd stage. This is Hand's first time on stage 3, and he'll be starting off with the flying bar, returning from tournament 3, now made a little bit more difficult. Hand now makes that 4th cradle, and that's going to make an immediate transition to the first of the new obstacles, the globe grasp. He's going to jump across these little 6 spheres, and yeah, there's a chance that you'll slide off if you aren't careful enough. But Hand moving across onto the 5th one, and now the 6th, and he's across. Now he'll be the next to take on the modified step case. Also 11 the same, but this is a much more difficult version. Those tops now, the ledges that you hang on to, are now thinner than the top of the ledge, the blue part, which gives you a much bigger chance to hit your head. And Hand is doing a good job so far. And now he's on to the last one, and approaching the next variation of the cliffhanger, the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. Alright, Hand, he's gotta... Now, the different part of this obstacle is that these ledges actually unanchor, so you have to time this 3rd ledge very well. Hand, he's gonna make that first transfer. Come on, Hand. He flips, and he makes it. And now he's got one more transfer. This is the tough one. Hand, he goes for it. Yes! Hand over some Robux. It's across the ultra crazy cliffhanger. What a performance by his first attempt here on stage 3. Hand just demolishes the ultra crazy cliffhanger like it's not even there. And Hand, that 2nd transfer is incredibly difficult, but he somehow managed to make it work. As you can see, he timed that ledge to absolute perfection, and he manages to get a hold and a grip on that 3rd ledge and make it to the dismount. And Hand is now halfway through the 3rd stage, but he still has 4 obstacles left. Next up is a supersized version of an obstacle from stage 1 back in tournament 3, the ramp launch. Now the ramp launch Kai. Now he's gonna jump across these 5 conveyors, and Hand sticks that landing. And now he'll be moving on to 2 Spartan Sasuke obstacles. First is the undefeated pinch climb, which is a little bit easier than the Spartan Sasuke version. And this took a double ump twice. So let's see if Hand can do it. Onto the red ledge. Here it goes. Ump, double ump. He's into the 3rd ledge. He's got it. 1 jump left to go. And Hand over some Robux. makes an immediate transfer onto the needler. Come on, Han. 26 needles that he's gonna move across. He can choose any way, but Han now doing a good job so far. Alright, he's a third of the way there. Now making a transfer. Next needle! No! Han, he's out! He was going so well on his first attempt on stage 3. But Han crashes down. And he managed to get past the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger, but on the needler, he didn't get a good jump to that next needle. And he just undershot it. And Han's first trip on stage 3 ends in defeat. And one competitor down, 4 left to go. Next is the last of the competitors making it to stage 3 for their first time. And he's a competitor that has really been putting on some efforts to improve over the past tournaments. This is Super SpongeBob 303, aka Homeboy. Can he be the one to get past stage 3? Can he be the first to make it past the needler? And here goes Home onto the first obstacle, the flying bar, onto the third cradle, and the fourth cradle. He's in full blue, so that could be a bit of a factor. Hope he doesn't jinx himself on the pinch climb, if he gets there, of course. But Home now making his way across the globe grasp. Alright, Home, he's on to the fourth one. He's got 2 more globes left. On now to the 5th one, and now the toughest one, the 6th one, the easiest one to slide off. But Home almost comes up short. But he lands it. Now onto the step case, right into it, no break at all. Home now onto the descent. He's onto the 5th one. 6th one. Now almost slips off, going into the 7th and the 8th. Now he's gonna go back up once again. Home, he's got one more ledge now left, and now he's onto the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. Now can he beat this obstacle as well? This obstacle has to absolutely be timed perfectly on that 3rd ledge. Because of the way it anchors on the first 2 ledges, if you don't time it right, you'll slide off those first 2 ledges. But now Home, he's going for it, and Gabe just TPs to me, not sure why. Rooting for him, and he makes that first transition, a little bit of a close call. But now the tough part, that moving 3rd ledge. And Home gets it. Home is also across the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. And now he is also halfway through the 3rd stage. Home now onto the ramp launch Kai. He's onto the first one, 2nd, gotta make that jump to the 3rd one. Oh, a close call. Onto the 4th one. And the 5th, he's going, and he's got it. Oh, a close call, he almost slips off to the front. Home makes that dismount. On now to the pinch climb. He's really gonna have to rest here. Home now taking his time. He knows he is really feeling it right here. Now grabbing that chalk, he's gonna need it for this pinch climb. And then the needler, which took out Home, a hand, and then the final obstacle. Another car-based obstacle, we'll get to that if anyone gets there. But Home now gonna rest a little bit more. And now, alright, here he goes. Come on, Home. Home, let's do this. Here he goes! Up, double up, into the first ledge. Home, he's into the 2nd ledge, looking into the 3rd. No! Just kidding, I'm not gonna pull off a spot. Oh, he almost slips off that red ledge. Oh, that would have been a disaster. But Home, now on to the needler. This is where Han failed just minutes ago. And you can tell Home is getting nervous. And he almost slips off that 2nd needle. And now he's moving across. And now no! He fails to jump beforehand. And Home is also down on the needler. Home, he had a close call. He had an uncomfortable run all throughout the 3rd stage. Very close calls on both transitions of the cliffhanger, but on the needler, just like Han, he undershoots it. And with that, Home is down on stage 3. And with that, we have to move on to our next competitor, V Koraki Whisk. Come on now. Can we have our first clear? Alright, now Alex, on after the flying bar. Alex put out the fastest time on both stages 1 and 2. And being the only competitor, the first competitor since Jake actually, to get the fastest time on both of the first 2 stages in the same tournament. And Alex has just flying through the globe grasp, right into the step case. Alex has turned into an absolute speed demon at this point. And now he is quickly moving across the step case. And now the ultra crazy cliffhanger, and he's got it. Now he's gonna have to really rest here. He's gonna have to time that ledge pretty well. Come on. Come on, Alex. Alex, alright, here he goes. He's into the first one. And alright, he's gonna jump. And Alex goes down on the ultra crazy cliffhanger. He is the first victim of this cliffhanger, and with that, his cliffhanger demons with him is going to continue as he failed the cliffhanger in the last tournament as well. He times that ledge way too early, and with that, Alex is out on stage 3 again. And with that, in the blink of an eye, we're down to just 2 competitors left on this 3rd stage. Next up is a competitor that has made it here in both of the last 2 tournaments. This is Robotic Pie. Robotic failed the 5th obstacle in both the last 2 tournaments, so we know he can definitely get far as long as he gets. If he doesn't make a mistake, he's good to go. Robotic immediately onto the globe grasp, taking his time. He's done plenty of these jumps in J-Toe, so this definitely isn't a problem. Unless it is, of course. But anyways, now Robotic now taking his time onto the 4th one. And he's got it. Now the 5th. Now he's got to make that big jump to that 6th globe. And he's got it. Almost comes up short. But now he's going to take a break. Take a moment to gather himself and win that close call before he takes on the step case. And he's into the step case. And he's moving across. So far so good. Now he's going to make that transition. And now descent. This is somewhat a little bit difficult. More difficult than the ascents. But why do I keep saying home? Or it's Robotic. Robotic now. Moving across. And he's going to land. And or he's gonna go into the ultra crazy cliffhanger, regens it, and goes immediately, no rest at all. Come on. Robotic makes that first transition. Now he's gonna move across. No! Robotic! He's also down on the ultra crazy cliffhanger. On the 2nd transition as well. But he jumps a little bit too late. As you can see, that 2nd ledge starts to unanchor right there, and he didn't get a good jump. He just grazes that 3rd ledge, and he's out again on the 3rd stage. And with that, we're down to just 1 competitor left, who has witnessed every single 3rd stage failure up to this point. He saw Hand and Home painfully go out on the Needler, both of them, on their first trips to stage 3, coming so close to the end. He then saw 2 of his companions make it to stage 3 again after the last tournament, but both of them, one by one, they were taken down by the ultra crazy cliffhanger, jumping too early and too late respectively. And for the 2nd tournament in a row, Brian the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the last man standing. However, he will have to defeat the 3rd stage, which he was managed to defeat in the last tournament. But now he faces a much more bigger task. He has the pressure of holding this tournament on his shoulders, just like Dragon from Tournament 3. And Brian, with his Kanzen in the last tournament, is without a shadow of a doubt the best hope to reach the final stage in this tournament. But can he do it? He is the last hope. Come on, Brian, don't let it go to waste. Brian, will he make it to the final stage again in this tournament, and possibly get his 2nd total victory in a row? Alright, Brian, he's on to the 2nd cradle. Brian really taking his time like the other 4 on the 1st obstacle, the fly bar, and he's through it. Now on to the globe grasp. As you can see, the blue lights aren't there anymore to, make it more dramatic, I guess. But Brian now really taking his time here on the globe grasp, not rushing it whatsoever. Brian now moving across the globe grasp. Now he's still got 2 more globes left. And he almost slips off that 5th one. That could have been a disaster right there. And he's through, gets a good landing on the 6th, and now he faces the step case. He beat this in the last tournament. He was one of only 3 compares to attempt it. The other 2, however, both went down on stage 1. Yas and Cyrus. And Brian is carrying the weight of not just 1, but all 50. Not just 49, but including himself. He's carrying the weight of the entire tournament. And if he goes down anywhere on this 3rd stage, the tournament will be over, and Brian goes immediately into the ultra crazy cliffhanger. Brian takes his time, Now he's gonna make this transition, which took out both the last two competitors. Brian gets it. Brian is through now. He is onto the halfway point, and he's gonna not even pause to rest here on the ramp launch guy. Brian through the obstacle, and now he's on the pinch climb, taking no rest at all. Brian is just speed running through this. If Brian gets first place this tournament, he's just gotta have to get past that third halfway. He's gotta get past that third point. Oh, he almost flips. He almost flips on the first needle, but if he gets past the 1/3 point, he's gonna finish in first place again, being the second competitor after Dragon to finish in first place in back-to-back tournaments. Brian taking his time here on this obstacle. He does not want to rush it now, especially after the tournament is on his shoulders. Brian, he makes it. Oh, he almost slips off. Now the jump which took out hand. Go to the other direction. Brian, he gets it. And with that, Brian has finished in first place for the second tournament in a row. Very well done. But he's not out of it just yet. He's still got to get past the needler. No one's beaten this yet. Come on, Brian. He's taking his time here. This obstacle cannot be taken for granted. You have to get these jumps very precisely. And Brian now really taking his time, unlike the first 6 obstacles. And now Brian, he's got 3 more needles, 2 more needles left. He's got to get to that gold one. And he's through. Brian, he is on to the last obstacle of the third stage. He's the first to beat the needler. And he's got 1 obstacle left before he reaches to the final stage. He's got 1 obstacle left. You may have heard of the idiom, threading the needle, but this is a totally different version. This obstacle is called threading the car. You've got to drive this car across this track, which has a lot of booby traps. And now, Brian now taking his time here. Brian, he's got to go to this light ascent. Now the 60-degree incline. Brian, he's going to go up it. Brian, up it. Or now he's going to go for the second. No! Brian, oh my goodness. What a save on that obstacle. Brian, he's not out of it yet. He's going to somehow save it again. Brian, come on. Back up it again. Now he's going to cross the small gap and drop down. And now he's on to the final jump. Come on, Brian. The music stops. Brian, he goes for it. Yes! Brian, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to the final stage for a second tournament in a row. And with that, he is the first competitor to have made it to the final stage twice, let alone twice in a row. An absolutely outstanding performance. Brian, perhaps this tournament, he will become the legend of this course that no one will ever forget. Brian, he avenges both Alex and Robotic when he got past the ultra crazy cliffhanger. And then he continued just literally speed run through the ramp launch Kai and the pinch climb. And then he managed to get first place in this tournament. But before a very close call on the mount on the needler, he almost slipped off, but he saved it. And then he managed to beat both the jumps that Home and Hand failed. And with that, Brian guaranteed a first place finish. But I want to go to this incredible save on threading the car. I do not believe my eyes what just happened. So he got past the first half of the obstacle, then was the 60-degree incline, arguably the toughest part of the obstacle. He got up the first part, and look at this save. He looked to pause himself, but then the car started swaying backwards. And then I thought it was all over at this point, and he would fail the last obstacle on a car-based obstacle just like Dragon in Tournament 3, but he somehow managed to save himself. And then he was able to rebound, able to regain control on the car. And then he managed to scale up the ascent once again, this time getting a much more smoother landing and make that final jump. And he will not pull off a dragon, but he perhaps will create new legacy on this course, and he'll be advancing to the final stage. Here we go. Brian the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It had to come down to this once again. He is back at the final stage, and perhaps he will become the absolute legend of this course if he achieves total victory for a second straight time. Jake and Han both giving him a good luck slap like the All-Stars. Jake and Han, of course, made it to stages 2 and 3 respectively, but both had their dreams ripped out of their minds. And Brian will be the sole hope to achieve total victory in this tournament. Brian will have 30 seconds to defeat 2 obstacles. And Brian, now resting himself before his final ascent. Here we go, Brian the One, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 30 seconds on the clock. And he's off. Brian the One, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Onto the extreme alternation. Come on, he's halfway there and he's wasted 6 seconds. Brian, alright, now he's got 20 seconds left as he enters the top. 18 seconds onto the G spiral. Come on, he's got a chance, but it's going to be close. Come on, Brian. He's halfway up as the klaxon sounds. He's got a chance, but he has to keep up this pace. Come on, Brian. 5 seconds for 2 cycles. He's on to the last ledge. And Brian the One, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, has achieved total victory once again, this time with 1.9 seconds left on the clock. Brian the One, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An incredible performance. In this new renewal course, Brian has absolutely shown who's boss and has demolished the final stage not once, but twice. Brian is now the first competitor to sit on that achievement, and Brian is now the absolute legend and the king of this course. Brian had an absolutely flawless run up the extreme alternation and had a little bit of a close calls on the G spiral, but it was to no avail. Brian had demolished this obstacle, and you can see Hand in the background and Jake off screen. They already knew that Brian was going to achieve total victory, and for the second tournament in a row, Brian will be sitting on the throne of a grand champion. And just like that, Brian has now become the absolute best, the #1 competitor on this course. And with Brian's total victory, he has brought this tournament to another positive ending. And now with that, the tournament has officially come to a close. And there you have it, everyone. The 6th tournament of Craft's Sasuke. We saw plenty of stories of heartbreak, redemption, victories, and defeat in this tournament. But in the end of it all, it ended off in a positive way once again, as we saw Brian the One, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, achieve total victory for a second straight time. We saw how incredible Brian was in this new era of this course, and we also saw some new competitors find their first true breakthroughs, including Home and Hand making it to stage 3 for their first times, and V-Karaki Whisk and Robotic Pie both making it to stage 3 after some very strong performances. And I want to congratulate this. And after the All-Stars were completely Zemetsu'd on stage 1, we have some new competitors hoping to cope with them. And for that, Robotic will be promoted to the rank of All-Star, and we'll see our first 2 members of the Shinsekai. Alex, who made it to stage 3 twice in a row, as well as Brian the One, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, who I don't even need to say anything. He achieved total victory twice in a row. But in January, in 2023, we'll be seeing new faces, new competitors, old competitors trying to get revenge, trying to break through, trying to defeat this course, but near the end of a goal, they have one goal in common: to get total victory. There will be obstacles, new obstacles, old obstacles on the way. They're hoping to take down our field of 50 once again. But however, our competitors have shown that they can adapt to this new environment and the new functions of this course. In January, we will see the 7th tournament, more crazy designs, more difficult obstacles, and most importantly, more Crafts Sasuke. That is coming up in just the future. But for now, Tournament 6 is already in the books, and we will see these competitors return for Tournament 7, where they'll hope to do well once again. But for now, Tournament 6 is already over, and we will see if these competitors can adapt to the new course. But for now, have a good day, everyone. I am Crafty Tides, signing off. Farewell, everybody.